In the vast universe of economics, price stability stands as a fundamental pillar, crucial for a healthy and prosperous economy. It serves as a guiding star for policymakers, businesses, and consumers alike. Price stability is the state of an economy where prices remain relatively constant over time. This stability allows for predictable planning and reduces uncertainty in economic decision-making. When prices are stable, businesses can invest with confidence, knowing that their costs and revenues will not be subject to wild fluctuations. Consumers too benefit from price stability, as they can make informed purchasing decisions without fear of their money losing value rapidly. Price stability is not about keeping prices absolutely constant. A small and steady rate of price increase, often referred to as creeping inflation, is generally considered healthy for a growing economy. However, when prices rise too quickly, it can lead to a host of problems, including erosion of purchasing power, distorted investment decisions, and social unrest. Therefore, maintaining price stability is a paramount objective of economic policy. Governments and central banks around the world employ various tools and strategies to keep inflation in check and ensure a stable and predictable price environment. Inflation, a term frequently used in economic discussions, refers to a general increase in the prices of goods and services in an economy over a period of time. It is a monetary phenomenon that erodes the purchasing power of money. When inflation occurs, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services than it could before. Imagine a loaf of bread that cost $2 last year. If inflation is at 5%, the same loaf of bread would cost $2.10 this year. This means that the value of $2 has decreased, as it can now buy less. Inflation is typically measured as a percentage change in a price index, such as the Consumer Price Index, CPI. The CPI tracks the average change in prices paid by urban consumers for a basket of consumer goods and services. A rise in the CPI indicates inflation, while a fall indicates deflation. Inflation can be caused by various factors such as an increase in the money supply, rising production costs, or excessive demand. Understanding inflation is crucial for individuals, businesses, and policymakers alike, as it affects economic decisions and can have significant consequences for an economy's health and stability. While inflation represents a rise in the general price level, deflation and disinflation represent different scenarios in the economic landscape. Deflation, often considered the opposite of inflation, is a sustained decrease in the general price level of goods and services in an economy over an extended period. In simpler terms, it means that the prices of goods and services are falling. While this might seem beneficial at first glance, deflation can have detrimental effects on an economy. Falling prices can lead to a vicious cycle of reduced consumer spending, business losses, and economic contraction. On the other hand, disinflation refers to a slowdown in the rate of inflation. It means that prices are still rising, but at a slower pace than before. For example, if inflation falls from 5% to 3%, it is considered disinflation. Disinflation is not necessarily a negative phenomenon, as it can indicate a cooling down of an overheated economy. Both deflation and disinflation can have significant implications for economic growth, employment, and investment decisions. Understanding the differences between these concepts is crucial for analyzing economic trends and formulating effective policy responses. Measuring inflation accurately is essential for understanding its impact on the economy and for formulating effective policy responses. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, is one of the most widely used measures of inflation, providing valuable insights into price changes experienced by consumers. The CPI tracks the average change in prices paid by urban consumers for a basket of consumer goods and services over time. This basket represents a hypothetical household's typical spending patterns and includes a wide range of items such as food, housing, transportation, healthcare, and education. To calculate the CPI, Economists collect price data on thousands of goods and services from various retail outlets across the country. These prices are then weighted based on their importance in the average consumer's budget. The CPI is calculated by comparing the cost of the basket of goods and services in the current period to its cost in a base period. The percentage change in the CPI over time reflects the rate of inflation. For example, if the CPI is 100 in the base year and 105 in the current year, it indicates that the average price level has increased by 5%. Section 5. Challenges in measuring inflation, a complex endeavor. While the Consumer Price Index or CPI is a widely used measure of inflation, it is not without its limitations. Measuring inflation accurately is, well, a complex endeavor, and several factors can introduce biases and inaccuracies into the CPI and other price indices. One challenge is accounting for changes in consumer spending patterns. As tastes, preferences, and income levels change over time, consumers may adjust their spending habits, shifting away from some goods and services and towards others. The CPI basket is periodically updated to reflect these changes, but it is difficult to capture these shifts perfectly. Another challenge is accounting for quality improvements in goods and services. Over time, products often undergo significant improvements in terms of features, durability, and performance. For example, a smartphone today is significantly more powerful and feature-rich than a smartphone from, say, a decade ago. However, the CPI struggles to fully account for these quality improvements, potentially leading to an overestimation of inflation. If the price of a smartphone increases but it also offers significantly enhanced features, the CPI might not fully reflect the increased value consumers receive. These challenges highlight the complexities involved in measuring inflation accurately. Economists and statisticians are constantly working to improve the accuracy of price indices, but it remains an ongoing challenge. So, let's dive into the concept of true value. You see, the true value of money isn't just what we see on the surface. It's not merely the numbers printed on the bills. It's about what that money can actually buy in the real world. The goods, the services, and the opportunities it can unlock. When we talk about true value, we're really talking about purchasing power. And that, my friends, is influenced by a myriad of factors, including inflation, interest rates, and economic policies. Now, imagine a tug-of-war between two powerful forces. On one side we have inflation, which erodes the purchasing power of money over time. On the other side we have interest rates, which can either bolster or weaken that purchasing power. It's a constant battle, and the outcome affects every single one of us. When interest rates rise, borrowing becomes more expensive and saving becomes more rewarding. Conversely, when interest rates fall, borrowing is cheaper, but saving yields less. This interplay between inflation and interest rates is crucial in shaping our economic landscape. Let's talk a bit more about inflation, shall we? Inflation is like a silent thief, gradually eroding the purchasing power of your money. What you could buy with $100 10 years ago is not the same as what you can buy with $100 today. It's not just about prices going up, it's about the value of money going down. This erosion of purchasing power means that over time, you need more money to buy the same goods and services. And that's why understanding inflation is so important for making informed financial decisions. Finally, let's discuss the role of monetary and fiscal policy in all of this. Monetary policy, managed by a country's central bank, involves controlling the money supply and interest rates to achieve economic stability. Fiscal policy, on the other hand, is about government spending and taxation. Both of these policies are essential tools for managing the economy. They can stimulate growth during a recession or cool down an overheated economy. The balance and effectiveness of these policies directly impact inflation, interest rates, and ultimately, our purchasing power. Understanding these policies helps us navigate the complex world of economics with a bit more clarity.